WRDL Ashland 88.9. Welcome to Insanity with FCA Disney Day. Yay! Hey, that rhymed too. Oh, I'm terrible. Alright. So, the top 10, 20 Disney songs, we counted up from all the way down, also called Going Down the Bayou, Gonna Take You There, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna find the original somehow. From Princess and the Frog, Stand Out from a Goofy movie, Bippity Boppity Boo from Cinderella, Cruella de Vil. Did I play Cruella de Vil? I certainly hope so. Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians, Lullaby by The Lion King, Kiss the Girl from The Little Mermaid. Whoa, whoa. I like that song. Hence why it's on my top 20 favorites list. I Won't Say I'm in Love from Hercules, sung by Meg. Hakuna Matata from The Lion King. We're going to see lots of Lion King. It's kind of amazing. Bare Necessity, and Lullaby was from Lion King 2. Bare Necessities, The Jungle Book. Just look for the bare necessities. You heard the song. Da, da, da. Sorry, I got distracted. And Under the Sea, also from The Little Mermaid. And then we went into our next set of 5. The 10 through 6 is going to be God Help the Outcast from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Next we're going to hear Why Should I Worry from Oliver and Company, sung by The Dodger. Then Colors of the Wind from Pocahontas, Can You Feel the Love Tonight from The Lion King, and Reflection from Mulan. Mulan number 1. And before we continue with that, my top 10 Disney's darkest movies, not 10, 6, because Disney doesn't do a whole lot of dark things, but I think that these ones are a bit more sinister. They have more of a dark aura about them throughout the movie, because almost any Disney movie, you know, obviously there's a villain, there's going to be parts of obstacle, but I think that these 6 actually scare the crackers out of me throughout most of the movie. And of course in all of these there's also light-hearted parts in each of these. However, I think that the overall characteristic of the movie is a little bit more darker, more evil undertoned than typical Disney. So first off is Pinocchio. Once again, I already told you the story that Pinocchio scares me. You know, every time you turn around, there's something going on. There's not just one villain. You know, there's Monstro the whale. There are those 2 little fox things that I forget the name of because it's been so long since I've seen the movie because I'm terrified of it. And then there's the puppeteer who offers a supposed good life to Pinocchio, but it's not. It's not. And you know, it has Jiminy Cricket, and I think that overall, you know, it has okay songs, but, you know, Little Wooden Head, My Little Wooden Head, which did not make my top 20 list. 20 songs, it's not on there. It's a notable song, though. Snow White. Snow White was terrifying. You know, your stepmother tries to kill you. I don't think it gets a whole lot worse than that. And you're a princess who's forced to work as a scullery maid. Not my idea of a princesshood. Meh. And of course, you know, she ends up being poisoned. There's lots of black magic. And Snow White scared me. I like the movie, but it scares me. Hunchback of Notre Dame. Never in this lifetime will you see the Hunchback of Notre Dame-esque kind of things made again. There's a lot of religious undertones, a lot of blasphemous-like things from the church, and it shows the evil that's in everybody, even, you know, the main villain, Frollo. There's lots of dark romances in it. It's very murderous, and it's just overall very dark, but I think it's a good movie, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, because of, you know, it shows that you can't judge a person by their outside looks, because Quasimodo, the main character, he is very much not an attractive person. He's not even average. and yet he's this wonderful, beautiful person on the inside, kind of like La Fidèle, which you learn about in the second Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is I feel is a lot more lighthearted than the first one. The first one is actually really, really dark. There's a lot of brutality in it. I don't know why it was made for children because of its sinister undertone. Sleeping Beauty. I don't know if it was the animation, I don't know what it is, but the entire thing of Sleeping Beauty is very dark. It's one of the only Disney movies where you hear the word hell spoken by the main villain, who is terrible. You know, she killed the main lady wants to kill an infant. That's absolutely terrifying. Maleficent is by far one of the most scary and terrifying villains in Disney. I think it's hard to argue that. You can argue for, I guess, for Chernobyl, who is the devil at the end of Fantasia, but I think that Maleficent is a lot more a terrifying creature, and I feel like I'd be just to say that Maleficent is one of the worst Disney villain, the most terrifying Disney villain. Minus the upcoming The Black Cauldron. The Black Cauldron, the entire thing is dark. With the exception of the very beginning and the very end, the entire thing is skeletons and death and evil. It has a very darkness to it. The Black Cauldron is surrounded with witchcraft and just pure evil, and the Horned King is absolutely terrifying. I think what I love about old Disney versus new Disney is that things aren't as impressive to me anymore with Disney. They're still good. You know, Princess and the Frog was mind-blowing and absolutely one of my, it made my top 10 list of favorite Disney. But I think that in old Disney, you have to realize that they didn't have that kind of the computer animation. You know, Snow White, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty. They did not have Disney. They did not have computer animation, at least not to the advanced levels that we have now. So all of that was hand-drawn animation, or most of it was hand-drawn animation. To create all these special effects that go through the movies, and that takes a lot of effort. That is a lot of time and a lot of work, and there's a lot of, I don't think people understand the appreciation you have to have for art to understand that they had to do that. Like, each piece of paper showed, whenever something glowed, whenever Cinderella got her dress, anything like that in old Disney was handmade, screenplay bits that were eventually flipped together to make the awesome that is. And also, I forgot to mention Winnie the Pooh. I think that the reason why Winnie the Pooh didn't make my top 10 is because I think it's definitely aimed just for children, whereas all the other ones, I think that adults, depending on their level of enjoyment of cartoons, can like it as well. And it doesn't have as many notable, there's not a lot of character depth because there's not a lot of ways to go with the characters to begin with. And instead of having a continuous thing, it was kind of, here's a story, which is fun, but just not what I think is the making of a top movie. But anyway, we're going to continue with my top 20 countdown of the songs. If you didn't hear them, or you're just tuning in, don't worry, you get to hear the songs now, and then we'll go through the top 5 of my favorite, and in my opinion, arguably greatest songs of Disney, as far as the animated Disney goes. So, enjoy. We're going to start. We just heard God Help the Outcasts, sung by Esmeralda from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And now we're going to listen to Why Should I Worry, which if you know how to swing dance, get your shoes.